In this tutorial, we're going to add a shark, but you're going to learn two things. One is to adjust the density to make it look like something is underwater. But even more importantly than that, I'm going to show you how to take control over the direction and the placement of something beyond what you can normally do. Because normally, when you create something, it just kind of is looking the way it wants to look, right? So let's jump in and you'll see what I mean. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to make a rough selection with the lasso tool. And let's just make a rough selection around here, and I'm just going to generate the first shark. I say the first shark, and you'll see what I mean. So we're just going to choose Generative Fill and type in shark. This is like a placeholder, so to speak. And all I really want from this is the selection. So hopefully we get a good silhouette of a shark. I'm not worried about the shape of it. For within it, I'm not worried about the colors or anything. Let's have a look. What have we got there? That's a good silhouette of a shark. I like that. That's my favorite. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select it. So let's go to the quick selection tool here. We've got object selection or quick selection. Now, of course, if you had a photograph, you could use it to get that selection as well. And of course, we can just roll over and click it for the selection. Or we could go up under select subject and choose cloud option and then hit select subject. But I'm just going to select it here. This is going to be good enough, I think, for what we need. So let's have a look here. And we're just going to throw away this layer. Great. Looks like there's a little bit of work I need to do in that selection. Let me just grab this and I'm going to hold down the shift key to add to it. And we're just going to get these little holes that got in here. We want to get rid of those. So maybe the select subject might have done better, but that's great. That's exactly what we want. Now we've got the silhouette. Now what it's going to do is it's going to generate this within the silhouette. But I need to make the silhouette a little bit bigger because it will make it a little bit smaller than this area. It looks like I missed a bit on that fin too. Let me grab that. There we go. And we're just going to click on here and we're going to choose to expand the selection. 25 is great. Now, this is where we control this. What I don't want to do is I don't want to cut this. I want to just move the selection. And why don't we choose the select? And under select, we're going to use the transform selection. Now this enables me to change the orientation. So if I want the shark swimming between the surfers and not heading towards them, I could do it like this. I can literally put it wherever I want. And when I generate this shark, it's going to generate it within this area. And I'm actually going to just take it there so it's partially covering that turtle. And we're going to hit enter. All right, so we've got our selection. What we want to do is we want to save our selection. So we're going to choose select. And we're now going to choose to save the selection, just in case we need it later. Call it shark. Click OK. Great. Now what I want to do is I want to go into quick mask mode. So I'm going to hit the Q key for quick mask. And if you look inside the channels, let me just drag this out to the side. You can see it. So the quick mask essentially is a temporary channel. So it just creates a channel. So watch this. If I hit the Q key, it goes back to a selection, back to a channel. It toggles. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to fill the inner part here. Notice it's white and black. I don't want it to be white. I want to fill it with a gray. And by the way, if I hide this up here, you can see there's our mask. So I want this to be gray rather than white. So if I hit the control key or the command key, I can click to load that as a selection. And I'm going to grab a brush and I'm just going to choose the foreground color. Now, the higher or the whiter I make this, the more opaque it's going to appear. When I say opaque, it's going to look like it's, just floating on the surface. The more darker I create this mask, when it generates this, it's going to make it look more like it's more underwater. Now, this is different in opacity. If it was just opacity, you would see the things underneath it. So this is actually generating it at this density, but you're not going to see the objects underneath, so it's not transparent. So let's take it down to about 29 is where we are right now, and click OK. So with that brush, let's just fill it. Great. And now why don't we just turn off the selection, Control D will turn off that selection. Now if I hit the Q key, what it's going to do is it's going to convert this back to a selection. If I hit the Q key, see quick mask, selection. Now you won't see the selection because it's less than 50%, so it's not going to show. Just to prove you it's there, look, see if I paint. Let me just undo that. So it's there. We just can't see that selection. Great. Now what we want to do is we want to generate. So let's grab our layer. And under our layer, we're going to choose our generative fill. And now we're going to type in shark. And hit generate. And now we're going to let it generate our shark in the orientation and the position where we want, but also with that lower density, so it's going to look like it's underwater. So let's see how it goes. And look at that. There's our shark in the direction, position we wanted, and it's underwater. And we've got 2, 3 variations of that. I like actually pretty much all of those, but I think I'm going to go with this one. And notice, see where the turtle was under there? Notice it's not showing through. If I'd done this as an opacity, watch this, I changed the opacity, you can see the layers underneath. See that? But in this case, it's generated like that. We even see the caustics of that across the top. That's those kind of reflections from the waves. And yeah, I think that's worked out pretty well.